everyone. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Deanna, and I will be teaching you a vinyasa flow practice today that is focused on the neck and shoulder area. So I'm filming these videos in the time of the COVID-19 pandemic, so most of us are sheltering in place and dealing with a lot of tension and anxiety and stress. And one of the things I wanted to just kind of share with you, I was listening to a podcast with Brene Brown the other day, and she was talking about functionality and how some of us are really kind of high functioning in these stressful situations, and others are what she calls under functioning. And I thought this was really interesting in relationship to our bodies and our yoga practice, because when we're in this kind of high functioning mentality, we are in control. We're on top of it, we're trying to get things done, we're trying to solve problems. So it could be a little bit anxiety related as well, because when we're feeling anxious and fearful, we want to be in control of things. We want to stay on top of things and solve the problems, read as much as we can and have that knowledge. And then some of us are the under-functioning, so this is a little bit of a different response and more characterized by withdrawing, more characterized by depression, and maybe closing ourselves off, maybe a victim mentality, letting others be in control rather than taking control ourselves. And unfortunately, both extremes are coping mechanisms that we use, that we've developed and we've learned as means of survival, right? So could think about our time growing up. Were we more of that over-functioning person in times of stress and difficulty, or were we that under-functioning person? And I think that we can look at those tendencies and think about how they manifest in our physical bodies as well. How does it manifest in our body-mind complex when we are an over-functioner? How does it manifest in our body-mind complex when we are an under-functioner? So for me, I find that the more I tend to kind of want to control things, the more I develop tension in my body. And then I have days where I'm that under-functioning person where I just want to withdraw from the situation. That's sort of that feeling of depression and rounding inward. So both of these patterns can be addressed in the work that we're going to do today. So comfortable seat. I'm sitting up on a folded blanket. We're also going to need a strap today. So if you don't have a yoga strap, you can use a belt or a scarf. That would certainly work just fine. So don't worry about if you don't have the right kind of prop. And then some yoga blocks if you have them. If you don't have yoga blocks, we can also use big can of tomatoes or whatever you have on hand, just so that you have something you can support yourself with. So have some of those things available. A blanket or two, also really nice for your practice today. We're going to start with just a little bit of focusing, breathing, centering, and then this will be a more active practice. We're going to do more of a flow today. So we're going to move at a better pace than some of the earlier videos that I filmed. I wanted to give you some tools first to calm and ground. And then today, now we're going to start to pick up some energy by request. Some of you wanting to move a little bit more. So ground yourself here for a moment. Find your sit bones. Maybe even rock a little bit. Widen those sit bones apart so you feel more stable in your base. And then shoulders up, back, and down. Chin level with the floor. We'll close the eyes and just become very present for yourself. Starting to maybe feel and sense into your physical body. And this whole concept of over-functioning, under-functioning, where are you on that spectrum today as you approach your practice? How does that affect your breathing? sometimes when we're that over-functioning person, we may have kind of an anxious breath, a faster, shallow breath. Maybe if we're withdrawn, we can't get that breath in because our body is very collapsed. So finding length in the spine can help us be able to invite a nice full breath. Let it start to slow down a bit. Welcome your breath into the softness of your abdomen. If you like, a nice soft ujjayi breath, a little constriction in the back of your throat. As you breathe in and breathe out, the sound as if you were fogging a mirror. Keep it light, soft. Excuse me. Letting the breath smooth out, even out any inconsistencies. And starting to take that breath in a little more slowly, almost like you're sipping the air in. But make it a long, quenching sip. And then a slow, mindful exhale. Just go ahead and continue to breathe for a few more moments. I'm going to share a little reading with you before we move on. This is one of my favorite writers recently, Jeff Foster. It's called Held, Not Healed. Stop trying to heal yourself, fix yourself, even awaken yourself. Stop trying to fast forward the movie of your life. Let go of letting go. Healing is not a destination. Be here. Your pain, your sorrow, your doubts, your longings, your fearful thoughts, they are not mistakes. And they are not asking to be healed. They are asking to be held, here, now, lightly, in the loving, healing arms of present awareness. So allow yourself to really be present for whatever is here for you now, whatever you are experiencing. Allow yourself to be present for it, rather than distracting and getting caught up in thoughts of the future or the past. All we need to be aware of is this moment right now. So sometimes that over-under functioning, we're thinking too much about the future, about what is to come, and many of us we're struggling with not having the answers. Perhaps if we're under functioning, we're thinking about the past and regret and all of the things that maybe we've lost as a result of this current situation. So be present for it all. I'm going to take a few more moments here, a couple more breaths. Last breath here. And then you could either keep your eyes closed for a little bit longer, or if you wish, you could open them. All we're going to do is roll out the shoulders. So lift the shoulders up by your ears and then circle them back. And then try that a few more times. Circle up by the ears and down. Keep it going. And then reverse, go the other direction. So by the way, I'm not including a music track today. I was asked to maybe do some more upbeat music. So I'm going to send a separate link for a Spotify playlist that if you wish to rock out a little bit in our flow today, you can play that playlist in the background. I'll also give a more quiet yoga playlist, so you have two options. You can keep it a little more chill, or you can start to kick up the beat a little bit if you wish. All right, go ahead and let that go. And then we're going to drop the head to the the right, ear toward the shoulder. You're going to use your right hand to just hold on the side of your head. And now gently press your head into your hand, but use your hand to create resistance. And just hold there for 3, 2, and 1. And now slowly release. We'll go to the other side, ear toward the shoulder. Left hand holds the side of the head. Press the head into the hand into the head for 3, 2, and 1. Good, and then release that. We're going to take the hands behind the back of the head and press the head back into the hands and the hands into the head. And just be aware, notice where you're feeling any muscular engagement. Maybe for me, I'm feeling it across my mid-back, my shoulders, my neck. Good, and now we're going to drop the chin toward the chest and bring the elbows in. But we're keeping up the resistance, so press your head back into your hands, hands into your head. We're trying to strengthen all the sides of the neck here. And maybe release any imbalances, any tight spots. Good, and then release. Hold here for a moment. Take an inhale and an exhale. And then we're going to interlace our hands, placing them underneath the chin. And now press your chin into your hands, hands into your chin. Notice where you're feeling this in your back, in your shoulders. And then we're going to bring the elbows in and lift the chin and take the head back. Now this whole time we're pressing the hands and the head into each other. We're going to do that a few more times. So there's a kind of two-way resistance going on here. Press down into hands and then chin into hands. One more time, inhale and exhale. Lift up. Good, and now release and just kind of move the head around a little bit to release any tension. We're going to change the crossing of our legs to stay here a little bit longer, and we'll do a couple of full head rotations, loosening up the tissue around the neck. Now, if going all the way in a full circle creates any strain or pain, especially as we go to that back position, sometimes it can be a little pinchy, just do a semicircle from ear to ear. But if you're comfortable, we can make that full rotation. So take an inhale, exhale, drop your chin towards your chest. And then we go to the right, so head to the right and to the back, keeping your shoulders relaxed, over to the left, and then chin to chest. Now you're going to continue a few more cycles in the same direction, and I'd like you to go as slow as you can. So we don't want to bypass this work, so keep it a nice slow movement. If you find a really tight spot, you might even want to hang there for maybe a breath or two. We don't want to hold it too long. If we hold a stretch too long and it's a deep, intense feeling, it can sometimes have the opposite effect of what we're looking for. And so that tissue might tighten up as opposed to release. So hold it for just a moment and then continue. And then the next time you bring your chin towards your chest, you're just going to reverse it and then go the opposite direction. And then keep that going for a few more cycles. Slowing it down as best you can. And making sure we're continuing to breathe. Continuing to stay present for our experience. We can even look at this idea of over and under functioning as we approach our practice. A little more challenging to notice our tendencies when we're doing it on our own and we're not really being held accountable by anyone else around us. But we can notice, do we tend to push ourselves and over-function on our mat? Or do we tend to kind of hold back and, take child's pose every 5 minutes? So notice what that is for you. Hopefully somewhere in between. Next time you bring chin to chest, let's pause and come right back up to neutral in the center. We're going to take the right arm out to the side and swing it across the body. We're going to hook the opposite arm above the elbow. And then here's the resistance work. We're going to try and pull the right shoulder back away from this side. So you're pulling it to the right. And at the same time, your left arm's holding that arm in place. So we have that resistance. And now hold here, one more breath. Keep on the same arm. Take the right arm up overhead for half Gomukhasana. So the hand is right behind the back of my shoulder blades. The elbows are up. And I'm going to be mindful of not poking my ribs forward to get here. So keep the ribs centered right over your pelvis. Lift the elbows, lift the crown of the head. One more breath. Slow and soft. And then release, arms down. Other side, take the left arm out to the side, move it across your body, hook above the elbow, and then we're going to draw this left shoulder back toward the left, creating that sense of stretching and opening this tissue here on the upper arm and the upper shoulder here. Breathing. And then staying with the same arm, bring that arm overhead for that half Gomukhasana. And we're lifting through the elbow, making sure the ribs are not flaring forward. So we should feel a connection to our core here. If I pop my ribs out, I'm going to feel compression in my back and I'm going to lose that connection to the core. So the rib cage lifting evenly, crown of the head lifting evenly. And then release. And now both arms behind your back, interlace your hands behind your back. We're going to keep a bend in the elbows here, very easy for those of us who are a little hypermobile to hyperextend those elbows. So keep a gentle bend, shoulders back, lift your chest. Nice breath into the front of the chest. And we're going to try and pull the arms apart, but don't let go. Hold on to your hands, pull the elbows away from each other. And feel how that helps us open the chest and the upper back. Good, and then release. And we're going to do big arm circles. Nice full range of motion here. So if we've been stuck in one of these patterns, we might be starting to not use these full ranges of motion. And then we feel a little stuck in our bodies. Go the other direction. One more. Good, and release. All right. So we're going to start to move a little bit more now. I'm going to be sideways on my mat. Be a little bit easier for you to see me rather than just straight ahead. But I'll try to, change position occasionally just to give you a better view of things. Just do your best as you can to follow along. So we're going to come into tabletop pose. Some of you might wish to have a cushion, so maybe a blanket under your knees, especially if you're on a hard floor here. And then set yourself up in your tabletop. Knees are under your hips, hands under your shoulders as best you can. Taking a few rounds of cat-cow. So we're going to take an inhale. Exhale, round your spine. Push down into the tops of your feet, your shins, your palms, and feel your shoulder blades spread apart. And then reverse. Inhale, looking up, tailbone and chest and head lifting. Exhale, round, and we're trying to lift the navel, squeeze it up as we press down into the foundation. And let's do a few more just like that. So go ahead and take about 3 more rounds. Inhale and exhale. And we're looking for this nice even movement of kind of arching and curling into our spine. Nice warm up. After your 3rd round, take your time. We're going to land back into a child's pose. So your knees are going to separate. Move your hips towards your heels, sit bones move back, and stretch your arms forward. If you can, forehead onto the floor. the floor, but you're on the pads of your fingers. So you're resisting the arms dropping to the floor. And then we can firm the upper arms, firm the shoulders and the triceps. And then as you inhale, press into your fingertops, lift your gaze, and let the upper spine move in. And then as you exhale, keep the arm bones lifting as you lower back down. Now let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, press in your finger pads, lift up, upper spine moves in, exhale down. And 1 more time. And then from here, go ahead, let those hands come back down to the floor, and we'll come back up into tabletop pose. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to round the spine again. And this time we're going to hold the rounded spine. So tailbone is moving down, head can release and shake out a bit. You're going to really plug your hands and arm bones into the ground by pressing, and then really press the hands down so you can isometrically pull them apart. And as you pull your hands apart, notice that work in the arms, the stretch in the upper back. Let your head release. And then we're going to push back and bring the hips toward the heels like child's pose, but then we're going to peel up. And we're going to sit on our knees. So I know that this can be challenging for some of us to sit on our knees. So if that's the case for you, have a block nearby, and you can sit up on a block or even 2 blocks. Those of you who can are just going to sit back onto your heels. Okay? Shoulders are back. We're going to inhale the arms out wide. So for this one, I'm going to turn forward. So inhale your arms out wide. And now we're going to take the arms across with the right arm on top. Give yourself a big hug. This is setting up for eagle arms. You can stay here, or you're going to intertwine your hands and your arms, coming into eagle pose. I'm going to come back this way now. So as you inhale, we're going to lift the elbows, lift your seat, take a little back bend. And as you exhale, we're going to come forward. Maybe you're even going to bow inward a little bit. And then repeat that. Inhale, lift up, slight back bend. Exhale, back down. 1 more time. Inhale, lift up. And now exhale, stay here. Release your arms, interlace them behind your back. Notice which thumb is on top, so we want to make sure we switch next time. Shoulders back, little baby back bend. Try not to drop into your neck. Open your chest. And then release. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, back down. Good. Inhale the arms out wide. And now we're going to take the left arm on top, starting in that shoulder hug. And then interlace into your eagle arms position. Press your palms together. And then inhale, lift up. Little back bend. Exhale down. Little fold inward. 2 more times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale down. 1 more time. Inhale, lift up. Stay there. Unwind the arms. Opposite thumb on top. Interlace your hands behind your back. Shoulders back. Little back bend. Breathing here. And then release. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, down to tabletop pose. And again, we're going to press into the hands, round the spine, pull the hands apart, stretch the shoulder blades, and make your way back into a child's pose from here. Hold in your child's pose for another breath or 2. And then next inhale, we're going to come back up into tabletop. And we're going to tuck the toes under, coming into down dog, but we're going right back into a forward fold. So we'll come back to dog a little bit later. So we're going to fold forward over your legs and grab opposite elbows. Have a little bend in your knees and let your body drape over your legs. Root strongly into your feet. Maybe lift your sit bones a little higher. And then from here, bend the knees. Inhale, and we're going to come all the way up to stand. Now I'm going to move to center here so you can see a little bit better. Arms are overhead. Now my feet separated a little bit. And reach up through the arms. We're going to take a side bend. I'm losing my earbud. Hold on. Okay. Side bend over to the right. Inhale, come up. Side bend over to your left. Now we're going to keep the abdomen toned and the tailbone drawing down. And again, inhale up. Over to the right. This time let your hips move to the left. Watch out for your knees. Little bend there. Inhale, come up. And exhale to the other side. Let your hips move to the right. Reach through those arms. Good. Inhale, come up. And then exhale, come back down into the forward fold. Good. Switch the crossing of your arms so the opposite arm is on the bottom. Holding it here. And now inhale, lift up halfway. Reach those elbows forward. Little back strengthener. Exhale, back down. One more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale down. Inhale, we're going to come all the way up this time. And you're going to take a little back bend at the top. And then inhale straight up. Coming forward so you can see again. And now as you exhale, we're going to release into a body circle. Coming down and around to the right. And we're going to come back up and down and around to the right. One more time like this. And now we're going to go the opposite direction. So release, go the other way, holding opposite elbows. One more time. And then we're back up to start. Take a little back bend at the top. And then fold forward over your legs. Release your arms now toward the floor. And interlace your hands behind your back. And maybe lift those arms up. Keeping that little micro bend in the elbows. And pull your hands apart. Good, release your hands down, and we're going to walk it out to a downward facing dog. From your dog, inhale, plank pose, top of a push-up, and then exhale back to your dog. Do that 2 more times. Take it forward to a plank, and then back to a dog. We're going to do that 1 more time. Inhale, plank pose, and back to your dog. All right, hold your downward facing dog here for another moment. And we're going to inhale, plank pose. And 1 push-up. Bend your elbows, chaturanga, and push back up. Now we're going to lower all the way down. Option to drop your knees. Keep your chest forward and lower all the way down. Elbows in, inhale, cobra, lift your chest, press into the tops of your feet, and release down. Good, clasp your hands behind your back, inhale, lift up, shalabhasana, squeeze the legs together, lengthen your neck, and release. Press up, tabletop pose. Take an inhale, exhale, round your spine. Coming into cat pose, spread your shoulder blades. Sit back on your heels. Inhale, arms out wide. Exhale, right arm on top. Lift up. Little back bend. Coming back down, fold in. Inhale, arms out wide. Left arm on top. Inhale, lift up, little back bend. Exhale, down, fold in. arms behind your back, interlace, little back bend. Inhale, reach up, hands down, tabletop pose. Tuck your toes, walk your hands back to your feet. Clasp your hands, hang over your legs. Inhale, rise up, reach to the back, little back bend. Exhale, fold forward. Walk it out, plank pose. One push up, chaturanga. Lift up, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose, lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down. Inhale, locust pose, clasp or not, your choice, shalabhasana. And release, downward facing dog. If you want to go hips toward heels first, this is a nice way to get some length. And then lift up to your dog. Inhale, right leg up. Step through, warrior one. So we're going to spin the back heel down. Front knee over the ankle. I'm just going to fix my mat. Okay. Lifting into your low belly and your hip points here so we don't hang in our low back. So I'm going to lift that up. And then arms out wide. So my right leg is forward, my left arm is going on top for that same eagle position. Good. And now inhale, lift up, back bend. Exhale, fold. We can go arms to thigh or fold in your front leg. Keep this hip firming in. Okay, let's repeat that. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold in. One more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold in. Now release your hands down. Spin onto the ball of your back foot. Drop that knee down to the floor. I'm going to walk my front foot over to the right, coming into lizard pose. Now I can stay here on my arms. I could also bring in blocks, or I could come all the way to the floor. Your choice, whatever feels good in your body. But I want to make sure that we're not rounding the spine to get down there. So I'd rather have you stay up higher than to get all that rounding in your back. Okay? All right, and then from here, a little twist. Bring your right hand onto your thigh. And then from your bottom rib cage, turn open. Turn your top ribs back. Lean back a little bit. Keep your shoulders back. And then take the top arm, reach it up. You can stay there or wrap it around your back. So we're getting more into that shoulder area. And take that top shoulder any amount back, a little bit back with your head. We're breathing here. One more. And then release that top arm. And we're coming back down. Walk that foot back toward the center. We'll step it back to downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. One push up. Back to down dog. Inhale, plank pose, lower down. You can drop knees if you wish. Inhale, lift up, cobra. Exhale down, your variation, shalabhasana. Downward facing dog. Option to go back toward a child's pose to get that nice length in the spine and then into your dog. Let's hold our dog for a couple breaths. Finding a little bend in your knees so we can keep the sit bones lifting, pressing forward and down with your hands, firming your arms. One more breath. And then from here, left leg up. Step into your warrior one. Spin that back heel down, square your chest forward, arms reach. So I'm really rooting into this back heel, sending my back thigh back. Even as I deepen into this front leg, lift the front of the pelvis, and then arms out wide. So now right arm on top, eagle arms. On your next inhale, lift up. And exhale, bow either to the thigh or go inside. We're going to make sure that we keep the front hip firming in. 2 more like that. One more time. This time, stay down there, release your hands. Walk your left foot to the left, drop your back knee down to the floor. Again, decide if you want to lower down, if you want to use your props, or if you want to stay up on your hands. So I'm going to lower down onto my right forearm and come into the twist. So I'm going to bring my left hand onto my left thigh and turn open. I could even press my hand and my leg into each other to help me turn. And from my bottom ribs, I'm going to rotate. Maybe lean back a little bit. One more breath. And then slowly release. We're going to walk it back into center and step it back, downward facing dog. From here, we're going to need our strap. We're going to walk our hands back toward our feet into a forward fold. And then bend your knees. We're going to come into chair pose, Utkatasana. So in your chair pose, we want to make sure that we're not overarching our low back. So keep your hip points lifting, low belly in, reach through your arms. Maybe lower that seat a bit more, but keep your chest lifting. And then we're going to rise all the way up. Good. Now from here, I'm going to step forward again so I can face you. You're going to grab your strap or your scarf or your belt. I'm going to fold mine in half because I have an extra long strap. And I'm going to reach that strap up overhead. You're going to have a little space between your legs, a little bounce in your knees, and really pull on that strap. Already you might be feeling a little opening in your chest. We're going to pull on the strap and side bend over to the right. And lift up, inhale. And over to the left. Good, inhale up. This time, let the hips shift a little bit. And we'll keep pressing into the feet. Try not to lock your knees. And then inhale up. And over to the other side, let your hips shift, pull with your strap. Inhale, come up. And now take your right arm back, left arm up. Staying there for a little extra stretch. Inhale up and over to the other side. One more time each side. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale up and exhale. Move back a little bit. Good. Inhale up. And then we're going to lower the strap, keeping that little nice bend in your knees. Inhale, reach up. And exhale to the back. And we're only going to go part way and just hold it here. So I'm holding that strap just a few inches behind my back and pulling on the strap. Good. Now see if you can come a little bit farther. You might need to widen your grip on your strap. Keep a little tension by pulling on the strap. Now let's go a little bit farther. You can stop anytime this is too much. Keep the breath moving. Now we're going to go all the way down. Good. Inhale, circle back up, pulling on that strap, and exhale forward. Let's try that a few more times. Inhale up and to the back. Exhale all the way forward. One more time. Big inhale and exhale. Rest for a moment, maybe loosen those shoulders up. And now we'll try our rowing. Some of you have done this with me before. So now we're going to row forward. So we're going to hold that strap and just as if we were rowing with the arms. Now the hips are going to move here. The hips do not have to be static. And in fact, I encourage you to let those hips move to help you find this movement. It's a little bit of coordination. Sometimes can be a challenge to get it right, but just do the best you can. Now we're going to go reverse. So now a back row. And a nice opening into our shoulders, increasing our range of motion here. So whether we've been stuck in more of an anxious state or a depressed state, we're trying to bring some balance into the body here. All right, back up and then release your strap. We will use that again, so keep it nearby. Maybe shake out your hands. We're gonna come back. I'm coming back to the back of your mat. You should still be there. And then inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward, walk it out to your plank. Coming into your plank, one push-up. Press up, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose, chest forward, lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra, press into all 10 toes. Chest forward, good, shalabhasana, lift up. And downward facing dog, maybe hips toward those heels, and lift up. Inhale, right leg up, warrior one. Step through, spin your heel down, reach your arms. Inhale the arms out wide, left arm on top, eagle arms. One time. Next inhale, back bend. Exhale, humble variation here, fold inside or to your leg. This time inhale, back up, hold. One more breath. And then we're going to release the arms, spin onto the ball of the back foot. We're in a lunge. Now you might want to bend that back knee a little bit so we can get the pelvis a little bit more neutral. Tailbone down, arms out wide. From here, big inhale. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. Press the palms to open the chest. And as you exhale, we're going to turn. So just a little twist over to your right. Keep pressing the palms, shoulders back. You can stay here or hook the elbow over the knee, coming into a prayer twist. And now I'm going to root down into this bottom arm. Press the palms together, rotate, and I'm going to start to reach back through my back heel and keep this front hip pinning in. Hold it here for 3, 2, and 1. All right, release your hands down to the floor, drop onto your back knee. Coming back to your lizard pose, walk your foot over. Either staying up on your hands or coming down onto your forearm. Back into the twist. Press your leg and hand into each other to help you turn. Bottom ribs toward the front, top ribs toward the back. You can stay here or take the wrap, or going into the next phase of the pose, we're going to bend that back knee. Now, I'm going to make sure that I'm not on my kneecap. I'm more on my thigh, right above my knee. And I'm going to reach back, see if I can catch the pinky edge of my foot and roll the shoulder open. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release, coming back through center. Walk that foot in and step it back, downward facing dog. You are welcome to take a vinyasa. If you want, you can go through an up dog now, lower to your chaturanga, and then roll over your toes, lift your chest, and downward facing dog. You can also skip those vinyasas if you wish. Let's take another breath in your dog, little bend in your knees, sit bones lifting, firming your arms. And then other side, inhale left leg, warrior 1. Rising up. Hold for a breath, lifting the front of the pelvis. And a nice stretch in that back hip flexor. Inhale, arms out wide, eagle arms. One time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bow in. Inhale, lift up. Stay here for a breath. we're going to spin onto the ball of the back foot. Maybe a little bend in that back knee. Inhale the arms out wide. From here, palms together in front of your chest. You're going to press your palms to open into the chest. On your next exhale, we're going to twist over to your left. Remember, you can always stay here. Or lean forward, hook the elbow, press the palms, and I want to really straighten that back leg, reach through the heel, keep my hips compacting inward. Inner thighs draw towards each other. Staying here for 3, 2, and 1. And release. Coming into your lizard, walk the left foot toward the left side of your mat. Know that you have options here. You can stay up on your hands, lower down, or taking the full pose. So I'm coming onto my right forearm. I'm going to turn open, pressing my hand and leg into each other as I rotate. I can stay here or reach the arm up or take a wrap. Or I can also bend that back knee, catching that pinky edge of the foot, and then rotate open. I'm kind of kicking my hand into a foot into my hand as I rotate. Breathing here, 2 more. And then we're going to slowly release and make your way back to the center. Step it back, downward facing dog. Okay, widen your feet a little bit and walk your hands back towards your feet. We're going to need our strap again. And then we're going to slowly press up, using your legs to help you press up. And I'll come face forward again. You can stay where you are if you're facing me. I'm going to use the strap. We're going to do a full Gomukhasana arms now. So a little bit of space between the legs. We don't want to be on a tightrope here. Take the strap in your right hand, drop it behind your back. Now I'm going to use my left hand to kind of draw that elbow in, lift the elbow up, chin level with the floor, just like we did when we were seated. But now going to that next level, release your left arm, turn your thumb down, swing that arm up your back, and then try to walk your hands a little closer together. Maybe you can see here, I'm not touching, I've got short arms. Maybe you can go without your strap, that's fine. Okay. Try not to poke your ribs forward. I'm going to keep ribs over the pelvis, little bend in the knees, pulling on the strap. Inhale, lifting your chest. Now, option here to come halfway forward. So I'm going to keep a bend in my knees so I try not to round the spine too much. Think of the little cobra in your chest. As you come forward, you can stay halfway. Inhale, little cobra in your chest, or fold. So if you want to fold here, we're keeping that bend in the knees, we're pulling the strap, letting your head go. One more breath. And then to come out, we're going to bend the knees, pull on the strap, press into your feet. Back of the head presses towards your arms. We're going to let go of that top arm and then unwind and roll your shoulders out. Good. And then just take a pause, another moment. And then we'll do the other side. This mat just keeps slipping on my carpet. Sorry about that. All right. So now strap comes into my left hand. I'm going to take that behind my back. And first just grabbing that elbow to kind of assist it a little bit more toward the midline. I'm reaching that elbow up to lengthen through this whole side of the body. And my head and my arm are gently pressing towards each other. Chin level with the floor. I'm taking that opposite arm, swing it up my back, and then walk the hands as close together as I can. Good, little bend in the knees. Inhale, lift the chest, and then hinge forward. I'm going to come part way, pull and find a little cobra, and then maybe you're going to fold all the way. That's optional. You can stay halfway, you can stay vertical. Let your head go. Keep pulling on that strap, hold another breath. And then press in your feet. Head presses towards your arm. And slowly come back up. Good. And then release. Let that strap go. I'm coming back to face sideways. And stay where you are. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Walk it out to downward facing dog. And then let's take a child's pose. Bring your knees down. Toes touching, big toes touching, knees wide, and rest. We're going to take about 5 cycles of breath here. Just check in with yourself. And just noticing how you are on your mat. Are you over-functioning? Are you under-functioning? Are you finding some balance here in your practice? We're going to keep going, another flow or two. So from your child's pose, we're coming back up, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up, step into warrior one. Spin that back heel down, reach your arms up. Good, this time we're going to interlace the hands behind the back. And as you inhale, opening the chest. As you exhale, humble warrior once again. Try to keep that micro bend in the elbows. And then we're going to rise right back up. Keep the clasp and onto the ball of your back foot. And then from here, hinging forward, root into your front foot. Tuck your chin so you're not kinking your neck. And come into warrior three. Try to keep your hips as level as you can here. Good, and then from here, we're going to come forward and bring the knee up. Bring your hands to your heart. Extend that leg out. And then one more time, warrior three with your hands at your heart. Landing in chair pose. Reach through your arms. Interlace your hands behind your back. And hinge forward. Chin is tucked. Neck is lengthening. Hold another breath. And then release, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back, plank pose. Your choice, lower to your belly or chaturanga, up dog or cobra. And downward facing dog. Side two, inhale, left leg up rather. Step through, warrior one. Good, interlace your hands behind your back. Shoulders back. Next inhale, lift and open your chest, and then exhale, hinge forward. Keep that outer hip hugging in. We're rising back up. Keep the clasp. Spin onto the ball of your back foot. Inhale here. Exhale, warrior three. Find your balance. All right, release. Bend your knees. Chair pose. Oh, I forgot the leg. We'll do it on the other side. Clasp your hands, and we're going to fold halfway. And then from here, go ahead and release. Bring that right leg up. And, whoops, hands to heart. And we're coming into one more warrior three. Release back to chair and fold forward over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back, downward facing dog. Take the vinyasa here if you would like. Inhale, plank pose, lower down, cobra or upward facing dog. And we're gonna meet back in downward facing dog. Knees to the floor. Coming into puppy pose. So I'm gonna keep my hips over my knees as best I can. Walk the hands forward and hold the edges of the mat. I'm going to pull forward with my hands. Might need to move my hands a little more toward the top of the mat. And then I'm going to let my forehead come to the floor if I can. Now, just like in our child's pose, I want to keep the arm bones lifting and firming in that first child's pose when we're on our fingertops. And if I can keep those shoulders engaged, I could soften my chest toward the floor. Breathing here. One more. All right, and then go ahead and release into a child's pose from here. We finished the hard work. We're going to cool things down now. All right, so we're going to come up to sit. You might want that folded blanket again. We're going to do a couple of twists. Okay. So, sitting on your folded blanket. I think that last sequence was a little messed up, so I apologize. I hope you could figure it out. We're going to take the legs out in front of you. All right. And we're going to bend the right knee. So we'll bring that foot in as close to your sit bone as you can. Clasp your hands around your shin and lift your chest, shoulders back. Now, my left leg, I want it to be really active. Firm your thigh, flex your foot. And then left arm holds your shin, inhale, right arm up. Come into your twist. As you inhale, lift and lengthen. As you exhale, turn. You're going to bring those left ribs toward the right, and the right ribs are coming back behind me. I can even let this left leg shoot forward a little bit to give a little bit more space in that low back. One more breath. Good. Now as you inhale, we're going to come back through center, and we're going to cross that foot over. So we're going to repeat a twist, either with this leg out, or if you want to go the next level of this twist, lean towards your left sit bone and bring the right leg back. And then we're a little bit more like a pretzel here. Lift your chest, shoulders back. Now inhale again, right arm up, and take it behind you onto the floor, and turn. So we're going to lift up as tall as we can, rooting into the feet, turning and twisting. Maybe you're going to take your elbow past your knee, but if you've got a hunch to get there, I want you to skip it, okay? So lengthen your spine, press your arm and your leg into each other, press your shin and your leg into each other. All these little points can help add a little extra dimension to this posture. Holding another breath. All right, now inhale to lengthen first before we unwind, and then we're going to see if we can stack up the knees coming into our Gomukhasana shape. So meet our strap again, hopefully that's within reach. Now if this position of your legs is not happy for you, feel free to sit on a block. I've got a blanket, but you could have a block to be a little higher, or just cross-leg position, sit however you like. You don't have to be in this position. We're just going to repeat the arms that we did standing. So now my right leg is on top, so I'm going to grab left arm into the strap, hold that elbow, bring it to center. Try not to pop my ribs. Chin is level with the floor. And then I'm gonna let go of that right arm. Take it out to the side, swing it up my back, and try to work those arms a little closer. Maybe now we've got a little more range of motion. My hands are a little closer than they were before. Without popping your ribs, keep your chest lifted. Inhale. And option to fold forward as you exhale. Now as I fold, I can feel my spine start to round. So I've got to really work hard here to keep a little spinal extension like a cobra. And then I'm going to fold. Keep extending the spine. Keep pulling on the strap, reaching through the crown of the head. I'm going to come only as far as it feels appropriate for me. And then to come out, I'm pulling on the strap, pressing my head toward my top arm to come out with stability. Good, and then release slowly. Roll your shoulders out. And then we're going to release and come into bound angle pose. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. Lift your chest. Hold it here, another breath. And then if you wish, you could fold forward. I want you to think about your navel lifting up as you fold. Chest is lifting up, and you can clasp your hands on your feet, or you can bring your hands in front of you. We're going to inhale into that little baby cobra, and then exhale and fold. Let's try that 2 more times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale and fold. 1 more time. And now slowly walk it back in. Take your time. Use your hands to guide your knees up. And then we're going to take the left leg out. Right leg out straight. Clasp your hands around your shins, sit up tall, shoulders back. And then we're going to hold on with the right hand. Inhale, left arm up. And take it behind you onto the floor. Turning into a twist. We'll keep it a little more mild this first round. Maybe that right leg shoots forward. Give yourself a little bit more room to twist. Elbows draw energetically away from each other. Now to come out, we're going to inhale, lengthen, and then return to center. Cross the foot over. Now you could do the pose again like this, or tuck that right foot back behind you towards your left sit bone. And I'm going to hug the shin again so we can get that nice tall spine. And then inhale, left arm up. Take it behind you into the twist. Inhale again, lengthen. Exhale, turn. Back ribs coming toward the front and left ribs moving toward the back. Maybe you're going to cross the elbow. Breathing here. Keep the crown of the head lifting. 1 more. And then release, coming back towards center with a long spine. We're going to try and stack up those legs into this Gomukhasana. Okay, so again, sitting up higher if that helps you, or just a cross leg and you can focus on your shoulder work. Grab your strap again. We're going to take the strap now into the right hand. Reach up, grab that elbow, bring it in. Squeeze the legs towards each other. And then as you're ready, release your left hand, thumb down, swing it up your back and try to get a little closer with your hands. And then it's an inhale to lift, pulling on the strap, and then exhale, keeping that spinal extension. So I'm not going to round forward. I'm going to try and keep those vertebrae drawing in instead of poking out. As long as you can. Good. Another breath here. Pulling on that strap, lengthening the spine. And then to come out, we're gonna press the head toward the arm, pull on the strap and come up. Let go of the top arm and release. Good, all right. And we're gonna unwind, we're coming back into that bound angle. Slight variation this time. So I'm gonna slide my feet a little more forward. So it's a long bound angle. I like to pull my sit bones apart. Something helps with tweaking of my knees and that when I do that little extra step. And we're gonna inhale, lift up. Exhale, slide forward, keeping your navel and your chest lifting up. And you can clasp your feet if you like, or your ankles. We're gonna do 3 rounds. Inhale, lift up, little back bend. Exhale, fold forward. 2 more times. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, down. 1 more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale and down. Now we'll stay for about 5 breaths. Okay to let your spine round a little bit now. We're starting to really calm the nervous system back down. Right. Taking your time, and slowly start to roll your spine up. Pause when you get to the top. Take a nice full breath. And we'll bring the legs up and extend the legs out into a Dandasana for a moment. Maybe firm up those kneecaps, firm up your thighs, lift your chest. Alright, so we'll come onto our backs from here. So you might wish to have a blanket underneath your head. And then just come down and give your knees a hug into your chest. Maybe rocking a little bit side to side, massaging out your lower back. And then we're going to bring feet down for a twist. I'm going to take my right leg over my left leg and then offset my hips to the right. Bring my knees over to the left. Arms can be out to a T. I'm going to look over my right shoulder if that's comfortable. If not, I can always keep my gaze up. Now, a couple things we could try here, maybe scooting those knees a little closer towards your hips. That gives me a little bit more stretch in here. If that's too much, keep them where they are. And I also like to take my left hand as a little bit of weight on my legs. Sometimes I even put my right hand on my ribs, so my ribs are dropping toward the right along with my shoulder, and then my hips and my legs are going toward the left, creating a twist. And now a few breaths here, maybe coming back to our Ujjayi, soft breath. Relaxing into your face and your jaw. Alright, take an inhale, bring your head back to center first, and then legs back to center. Even yourself out. And just pause for a moment. Maybe notice the difference between your right side and your left side after that little twist. And now left leg goes on top, offset your hips over to the left, bring your knees over to the right, and then you're going to look over towards your left side or keep your gaze straight up. Again, adding in any variation, maybe shifting the legs a little bit, using your hands for a little extra counterweight here on the ribs and onto the legs. But no force, just keep it a relaxed little bit of weight, just to assist the body in dropping into this pose. Nice breathing here into the abdomen, letting things start to relax and soften. You've worked hard, moving your body, and some nice range of motion into our neck and shoulder area. Moving any kind of stuck, stagnant energy. Sometimes when we feel immobilized and we don't have any way to take action, we get more tense in our bodies, like a stuck feeling. All this work can help us feel fluid again in our shoulders and neck. Moving a little bit hips and legs. We're going to bring the head back to center and then legs back to center. Even yourself out here. Take a breath. Let it out through your mouth. And again, inhale through your nose. Through your mouth. One more time. Let's give the knees one more hug into the chest. You can stay there or make yourself into a little ball. And then either staying with a nice knee hug or if you wish, maybe a happy baby. So knees come wide, you can hold your feet, your ankles, or your legs, any variation. Important here not to get a big round in your spine. So if it's better for your back to not round, take a modification of your grip here. And you can be a still happy baby or a rocking happy baby. Good. And then we're going to release and bring knees back into the chest. Hold here for a moment. We'll come into our Shavasana, setting your feet down for a moment, and go ahead and just stretch one leg out at a time. And we can give a little wiggle to the legs, just to loosen up the low back, maybe a bounce to the legs, shake it out. And then arms can be at your side if that's comfortable. You can also do an abdomen. I like to tuck the shoulder blades in and down a bit just to feel spacious in my chest and collarbones, but not too pinchy there. And settle into your Shavasana. After you've made any last minute adjustments to your body, your clothing, commit to stillness. And finding a sense of surrendering all effort here. Let your body and your mind be effortless. Softening any facial expression, jaw tension. Softening into your throat. Letting the shoulders be really heavy into the ground. The arms resting deeply, back of the palms heavy. Knowing that our arms and hands are extensions of those shoulders that we work today. It's how we reach out and express, how we give and receive love. And seemingly now we've got to be a little more protective and can't always touch and hug in this climate of COVID-19. So Allow there to be more of a acceptance of this moment, giving that sense of comfort and care, nourishment to yourself through your practice, knowing that soon all of us will be able to share again in that feeling of community and companionship. Let the breath get softer and softer till there's a very subtle quality to the breath. Might not even be able to notice that the breath is moving, but it's very quiet and soft. Let go of any remaining effort in the body. See if you can find yourself in a moment of no thinking, just being exactly as you are in this moment. You are welcome to stay longer if you wish. You can just stay as I start to come up and share a final reading. If you wish to be in Shavasana longer, this video will end soon and you can stay there. But for the sake of time, the videos are hard to download the longer they get. I'm going to start to come out. If you're on a time limit and you're ready to come out, you can join me by gently reawakening some fingers and toes, a deeper breath, before rolling to your right side. So if you want to take a longer transition there, you could stretch it out, hug your knees, take a moment to reawaken. As you decide to come up, you're going to press into your hands, lead with your back body, the head will come up last, and we'll find ourselves eventually sitting again, unless you chose to take that longer Shavasana. I hope you did. We all need it. So if you're coming to join me seated, take a moment to get settled and get comfortable. A long spine. We're going to come back to our Ujjayi breath. Staying with that sense of Shavasana in your face, your neck, your shoulders, even your belly. But we're going to stay long in the spine. And continue to focus on that breath. Notice how you feel here at the end of this practice. Maybe that sense of kind of over-under functioning has found its balance now. And you can start to go about the rest of your day with that more balanced approach to dealing with the situation at hand. I'm going to share this final reading before I close. Dear humans, you fell asleep in one world and woke up in another. Suddenly Disney is out of magic. Paris is no longer romantic. New York doesn't stand up anymore, and the Chinese wall is no longer a fortress, and Mecca is empty. Hugs and kisses suddenly become weapons, and not visiting parents and friends becomes an act of love. Suddenly you realize that power, beauty, and money are worthless, and you can't get the oxygen you're fighting for. The world continues its life, and it is beautiful. It only puts humans in cages, I think it's sending us a message. You are not necessary. That the air, the earth, the water, and sky without you are fine. And when you come back, remember that you are my guests, not my master. Sincerely, Planet Earth. So we're close to our Earth Day. I thought I'd share that little reading with you. I hope you enjoyed practice. I hope your neck and shoulders feel a little looser, a little more open. And I wish you well, wish you peace and health. Until next time, thank you so much. Namaste.